Yo.
Let's see. All right.
In there.
What's up, folks? What's up, Nets world? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? Let me get a pic real quick. All right. That has to get tweeted out. And then we will do the Nets talk, where we talk about the Nets. Where's that YouTube link? That'll help. That'll help. Copy this and paste it here. Okay, we live and microphone check 1 2 1 2. Think we're good. This is gonna be a quick one, but that's fine. A little back to back here. And I think the last pod that I did, we talked about the L's that we took. 5 days ago, I did a pod. So that would have been April 2nd. And I think we lost to the Hawks on April 2nd. Yeah. So then we have the Rockets and Knicks games to talk about quickly. We'll hit the news, hit the injuries, and stuff that's just floating around in the NBA and in the Nets world. Shout out to you, Nets fans, dominating the city, running New York, 7 straight wins over our rival New York Knicks, who aren't really our rivals, but crosstown rivals. Let me get a retweet from my personal account. That will help. And we're off. And I think I got enough stuff loaded up. Let's see. Where's the chat rocking? Let me get a banner going. Let me get some people in the chat on the Summer Jam screen. Yo. Let me see. I want to probably adjust that to make it bigger or smaller when it pops up. Jared says, I can hear and see you. I can hear and see you, Jared. Early gang, Noti Squad with that Yankee logo. Happy opening day, of course. It's episode 161. What up? What up, Will? Appreciate it, bro. Hey, I saw Will early in the chat. What did Will say? Will said, can't wait to listen to you, Greg. Hey, why they call the show talking about Greg? These old Knicks fans, they call the radio. They got a bone to pick with your boy, but can't let them live, you know? Can't let them get that off. Our world, Nets world, duh. All right. Let's see where we're at here. Let's see. Sade. Showing love. Always showing love. What's good, Henry? Jay from BK. Chill with all that Mets energy. MG, what up? All right, let's talk about the Nets. There's a clip floating around from Get Up this morning. I don't know who this joker is. I think I know who he is now because someone just told me he subs in with his wife. I've seen his little act that he does with his wife. But they actually had somebody on national television this morning say that Joe Harris is probably maybe the Nets' best defender. When? When was that? I must have missed it. I didn't just start watching the Nets. I don't know when Joe Harris was ever considered the Nets' best defender. Did he give a lot of effort? At times. Did he also get cooked giving a lot of effort? Yeah. Joe Harris is like, I love Joe Harris, but I don't know why he's in anybody's thoughts or minds at this point with the Nets. Maybe that's just me. Exactly. Joe Harris. Like, why are you even talking about Joe Harris on national television at this point of the season? Joe ain't played a game since November. Mid-November, Joe went down. Leave Joey out of it. Joey's probably watching that like, bro, why are you mentioning me? I might not even be on the squad. All right, queuing it up. Got a few things to talk about here. Let's get it. So I got a ton of stuff to do. Got to go to the station early. Got to get ready for Yankees opening day. And we obviously got the Mets opening day. And I got a 5-hour show tonight. But got to come through and talk to the Nets world. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Talkin Nets, episode 161. It would be episode 161 on baseball's opening day when the Yankees game is postponed. Did it start raining yet? I don't know. I'm fine with it, though. I'll be at Yankee Stadium tomorrow. And then after that, I'll go to the station and then go right to Barclays Center. Nets world, baby. The Nets did not handle business last week, but we actually got some help from the losers around us. The Hornets lost yesterday. I think the Hawks lost yesterday. And now we control our own destiny again. Yes, we're locked into the play-in, but that's fine. We got to get that 7th seed. We got to host that game next Wednesday. We got to win that game next Wednesday and then go in to the playoffs and potentially face the Boston Celtics, which I would love. I would love to do that. Talkin Nets, episode 161. We're going to talk about Ben Simmons. Very little. Pequeño. We're going to talk about Matisse Thybulle, that unvaxxed Australian. We're going to talk about the Nets, back-to-backs, usually being rough for us, but we always can count on the New York Knicks to blow it. Talkin Nets, episode 161. Let's get it. Hey. All right. Talkin Nets. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Episode 161. Keith McPherson coming to you live. Solo for Dolo. You know, can't always book a guest. First thing I wanted to do on this episode was send a shout out and dedicate this episode to legendary Nets scorekeeper Herb Toretzky. Herb passed this week. I don't know if you guys saw this. Hurt me. Herb has just been a staple, a fixture with the Nets for so long. Brooklyn Nets mourn the loss of longtime official scorer Herb Toretzky. Toretzky was a constant presence since the inception of the franchise and touched the lives of generations of Nets players, staff, and fans. His legacy will endure for years to come. I was saying on WFAN, I physically feel like I just saw Herb at Barclays Center like a couple months ago. I know y'all remember this. I forget who we were playing this night, but we were definitely playing one of the top teams wearing the City Edition uniforms. They brought Herb out. They honored him. They gave him the City Edition uniform with his name on it, and it was nice. They had him up on the big screen. So first things first, Nets world, got to pay our respects. Prayers up to the Toretzky family. Herb will live on forever. The rest of the season, the Brooklyn Nets got to do it for Herb. Herb wants to see the Nets get the most they can get out of this season. And if things fall in our favor, if things go our way, Who knows where we could end up? Keep the faith alive. You got to believe. Now, moving on from that, gotta get that out of the way first. Sorry to start on a somber note, a little bit of a down note, but like I said, the Nets control their destiny somewhat here in this play-in, winning back-to-back games. The Nets had lost, I think, 9 in a row back-to-backs as far as the second half of a back-to-back is concerned. You know, we either will punt that game or we won't show up for that game. You've all seen it before. Good to see the Nets get a win. And obviously, the Nets run this city. I don't have to tell y'all that. We can go back a little bit. The Rockets game. Kyrie, magical. 42 points in Brooklyn. Now, there was a lot of people talking about Kyrie out the side of their necks, right? The Nets beat the Rockets 118 to 105. It was not the prettiest game, but that's okay. We support Kyrie. And the thing about supporting Kyrie is you support Kyrie all the time. You realize that man is human. Sometimes on the floor, he doesn't look like he's human, but he's regular just like us. He's got thoughts, emotions, family, things that come into his mind. And at times it can be a lot to manage, a lot to focus. He himself said that he needed to quiet his mind. He himself said he needed to focus in. Imagine if you had the weight of the world on you all over a vaccine, all over some nonsense that went on for months, and then you had to go out and perform after the exemption comes. Thanks, baseball. Thanks, Steve Cohen. Thanks, Yankees. It's a lot, man. And then you got to adjust to playing every night again versus being in and out of the lineup. And when you start doing that, Ramadan starts, and you also have to fast and break your fast right before or during the game. That's a lot. We support Kyrie, man. I just want some of y'all to realize that when you start going off about where's his shot, Kyrie better bring his shot. Oh, Kyrie is lousy. Oh, Kyrie is not the same as he was when he was playing against the Magic or whatever. Listen, he's going to be there for us. This is one of the best in the world. It's unfortunate that he got dragged the way that he did for the months that he had to go through of being the face of the unvaccinated NBA player, and not just NBA player, but the unvaccinated athlete. Speaking of that, Tim Bontemps reported yesterday the Philadelphia 76ers listed guard Matisse Thybulle as ineligible to play in Thursday's game in Toronto against the Raptors. A sign Thybulle could also be unable to play in the 3 road games of a potential playoff series between the two franchises. Last week, ESPN asked the 4 teams atop the Eastern Conference, Philadelphia, the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Boston Celtics, whether their rosters were fully vaccinated and thus eligible to play in games in Toronto where players have to be vaccinated in order to enter the country. I just love how things play out over time. How many episodes did I tell y'all? Kyrie is not the only one. They try to make it seem that way. They try and act like he's selfish. He's the only NBA player that decided not to get the shot. And people are super goofy and dumb. I saw people talking about he's vaccinated. If he wasn't vaccinated, why was he able to play in Barclays Center in Madison Square Garden? I'm like, bruh, do y'all read? Do you know anything? He couldn't play. He can't play in Toronto. He can't even enter the country of Canada. He could play in New York because he's a resident of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. The stupid-ass rules that we had here in New York allowed him to play. They did not allow Kyrie Irving to play. I've been telling y'all all season that unvaccinated players have quietly played in Brooklyn and Manhattan the entire season. You just don't know them because the reporters aren't talking about it. And Matisse Thybulle, yes, we all know who he is, but the general casual fan does not. More from that. Bontemps dropped that bomb on us, and there's other unvaccinated players. I can't wait to see if we hear anything about Jaylen Brown and a couple others. But shout out to Nets Daily. Now, I took a hard stance on Nets Daily, Alex Strum, their whole campaign of Kyrie should just get vaccinated. I wasn't feeling that. It divided our fan base. It still does some. But when I came out and took that hard stance, that was celebrating that day when we learned that Kyrie would return. I still feel that we should have, some people should have stuck to basketball, kept it to basketball. But shout out to Nets Daily. They just hit 50K on Twitter, and they've been getting some tweets off. Nets Daily writes, well, now we know why Matisse Thybulle was never realistically a possible piece in the trade centered around Harden and Simmons. Like Kyrie, he wouldn't have been eligible to play at Barclays Center as an unvaccinated player. So if y'all remember, we were thinking about that trade, and when the trade first came out, they were throwing Danny Green's name out there. I was saying, yo, give me Maxey. Give me the young boy Tyrese Maxey. But Matisse Thybulle is one of the better defenders in the league. I would have taken Thybulle too. And we thought Thybulle could have been in the trade. Now we understand why he was not in the trade for sure. Nets Daily dropped that one. And like I said, they've been getting some tweets off. I got some more tweets from Nets Daily. Shout out to them. No disrespect for calling y'all out. Just had to keep it funky, keep it a buck, keep it 100. I watched y'all campaign all year talking about Kyrie should just get the shot. Kyrie should just get vaccinated instead of focusing on basketball and the players and the guys that were playing. Now Kyrie is back. Our Nets world has healed. We can all come together, kumbaya as one for this play-in tournament and this potential playoff run. What else happened out here? The injury report. Let's talk about it. We always go through injuries at the top of the show. Let's start with James Johnson. LeBron James Johnson? No. Y'all call him Lames Johnson. I know you hate him. I don't really hate on James Johnson that much. One, that man is like a 6'9" black belt. So watch what you say. Two, I just understand his role. I understood his role when we signed him. I understand why Nash likes him. I understand why he got so many minutes. I know y'all were calling for Blake Griffin, whatever. I think James Johnson having this non-COVID illness and not playing the last two games, I think it might be the sign of some things to come. We'll see how that all goes. But who you want in there more, LaMarcus Aldridge or James Johnson? We'll talk about LA in a second. Goran Dragic, health and safety protocols. I read that he's feeling better. He should be on his way back, hopefully tomorrow. Joe Harris, who I spoke about at the top of the show, he's in the injury report. Obviously, he's out for the season. You know, I was speaking to Eric Slater on his show or his podcast that he does about Joey Buckets and how I really feel like the Nets dropped the ball with him. How do you go from a sprained ankle, rolled ankle, to 2 surgeries to out for the season? That sucks. Either way. Last but not least, Ben Simmons. Return to competition, reconditioning, back soreness. Can we talk about Ben Simmons for a second? I told y'all last week, unsubscribe me from all the Ben Simmons updates. He's got this grievance right now where he's trying to recoup money that the Sixers are withholding from him from the beginning of the season. And now that's implicated the Nets since the Nets took him on and the Nets are supposed to pay part of that money. Clutch Sports, whatever you guys are doing with that, that's got nothing to do with us. I told y'all Ben Simmons is not a Brooklyn Net yet. Dude wants to wear designer every game and be seen. Dude wants to wear sunglasses inside at night. I dare you to wear the uniform, Ben. I dare you to suit up as a Brooklyn Net, Ben. Before this is all said and done, I dare you to actually wear Brooklyn across your chest. Even if it's a Brooklyn hoodie on the sidelines. This dude showing up like he's a model. You're a hooper, bro. We thought. All of this talk about Ben Simmons ramping up, trying to, who cares? Who cares? I see Nets fans still saying, well, when Ben Simmons gets back, dead that. If, and that's a huge if this man returns to play this season and can help the Nets, cool. Going back to James Johnson, won't have to see him as much. But what leads you to believe that? It has been almost 2 months since the trade, and I haven't so much as seen Ben Simmons run. Have you seen him run? Have you seen him shoot without without just standing still? The most I saw him do was a dunk in Philly, pass the ball. This is a 25-year-old young man. I know he had the epidural, herniated disc, all that is nothing to play with. But man, how do you go from not playing basketball in June to not being in the best shape of your life, making sure your back is ready to go whenever you get traded? We took on damaged goods. We'll see what happens with Ben Simmons. But as far as the Brooklyn Nets are concerned, he is not a Brooklyn Net. He's never played for the Nets. We have who we have. We are who we are. You can't factor in a Ben Simmons to help this team. You have not even seen this man practice. And I know it's tough to believe the Brooklyn Nets. It is. They tell you one thing, they do another. They tell you one thing, it's not true. But at the same time, it's like, how much back and forth with Ben Simmons can we all really do? Please, just leave me out of those conversations. If you call a radio station or you tweet at me about Ben Simmons, I'm going to tell you I unsubscribed. It has nothing to do with this team, in my opinion. I feel like there is a battle that is still going on with Ben and the Sixers, and now the Nets are implicated in it. The Nets have to focus on winning games. I see KD come out the game, sit next to Ben and talk to Ben. I can't imagine what their conversations are about. Ben Simmons has seen a lot of live action on the floor with the Nets right in front of him. He's had the best seat in the house to watch some of these Nets games. If you're a real hooper, if you're a baller, how are you not fighting and clawing and scratching and itching to get on the court with these guys? They saved you. They got you out of Philadelphia. So miss me with the Ben Simmons talk. I will say that until I'm proven wrong. Until he magically shows up and is in the starting lineup. I also said to y'all, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What does that mean? You don't add a Ben Simmons to this team that's trying to develop chemistry, trying to get better, trying to just take it day by day now, right? If you listen to Coach Nash, he ain't talking championship anymore like Sean Marks and the rest of the organization was. He's talking about now reality. And the reality is we're stuck in the play-in. We have a tough road to even think about a championship. But, keep it in the back of your mind. You got to believe. But this is about building and getting better day by day. We got Kyrie back full-time. Guys are getting healthy. Speaking of the injury report, great to see Seth Curry. Obviously, I know who he is, which brother he is. Good to see Seth back last night. Let's move on from Ben 10. I don't even know why they gave him a number. And talk about Seth Curry hitting the first shot of the game last night, getting him involved right away. 3, bang. Down from 21. The Nets rally back to drop the Knicks an inch closer to the 7 seed. The Nets beat these boys by 12 after being down 21. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Knicks run the city, right? There's no real Nets fans. We're all bandwagoners. We're all lame. We're all new fans. Nobody cares about the Nets. It'll never be a Nets town. The world, Chico, and everything in it. We want the world. It's a global game. We have the best player in the world. We have built this Nets world, and they're big mad about it. You know how I know they're big mad about it? Give me 1 second. Because it all came full circle last night. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving played their first game together on the floor at Madison Square Garden. I remember vividly seeing Photoshop pictures of Kevin Durant. Let's see if I can find it. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Zion Williamson. It's funny to even think about because these bing bong bozos actually were dreaming of KD, Kyrie coming here to New York and not being with the Nets. And then them getting the number 1 pick and being able to draft Zion Williamson, which they probably are in better shape with RJ. Can I pull this image? Yeah, I think I got it. These guys were so dead set on their team having the clean sweep that we had, and it hurts. It's got to hurt to give up a game like that last night to KD, Kyrie, not Zion, but you see, you guys have all seen these images before, bro. These guys are hilarious. The Knicks and their fans set themselves up for failure time after time after time. It's the tale as old as time. The Knicks are the laughingstock of the NBA, also the city. And last night you saw them get close to potentially breaking their losing streak. That's 7 in a row. It's not a rivalry. It's domination. It's ownage. It's little bro. It's little bro. They can't beat the Nets, and that's it for another season. Sweep, sweep. That's another sweep. What can you say to a Nets fan with that orange and blue hat on? What can you say to my people that come into your arena twice now, mob the place, and have no problem having their way? Literally, the Brooklyn Brigade, I'm looking for the video. The Brooklyn Brigade, 217, comes in the spot, takes it over, no problem, right? All we hear about is the world's most famous arena. The Nets have no fans. Okay, if we have no fans, who is Joe Tsai paying these folks to show up in Nets gear and take over the arena? It won't load on me, of course. Let's see if I can do it this way. Yeah, I could do it this way. Will they ever admit to what has happened here? I don't think they will. And before I play this clip, what I want to say, well, there we go. Pause. What I want to say before I play the clip is this. When the Nets came here, I remember this. I'm from Jersey, and when I was younger, the Nets left Jersey, and I was mad about it. But I could tell there was this weird energy in New York amongst the Knicks and the Knicks fans, because it's like, oh shit. Now, New York has 2 hockey teams, 2 football teams that play in Jersey, but 2 basketball teams in New York City, one in Brooklyn, one in Manhattan. And if the Nets are good, right? In the beginning, there was a slight threat with the trade that we made with the Celtics, but obviously that didn't go our way. But there was a threat. If the Nets become good, if the Nets start winning games, we have real rivals right here. It's always been just the Knicks, but now we got to share. And they got a brand new arena down there. And they got cooler uniforms, colors. The Nets have the most swag. Like, if you just go through the last 5 years of our uniforms, from the Biggie Coogee, black, white, Basquiat, the light blue City Edition, to this year's, dark blue City Edition, is way cooler than any of the Knicks jerseys. Their City Edition jerseys are trash. Spirit Halloween jerseys. As I continue here, these Knicks fans started to get uncomfortable, right? The Nets are the guy that she told you not to worry about. And now the Nets are, I don't even want to get graphic with this, all up in the room with your bitch. Oh, let me chill. The Nets run New York. They can't beat us. That's 7 in a row. That's 2 wins where the Nets were down 20 points in the Garden. And they handle business. And you know what? Nets fans were kind of miserable first half because the Nets haven't handled business lately. The Nets had some tough losses. You lose the homecoming to the Hornets. When Kyrie's homecoming, Kyrie's allowed to come back the night after you beat the Miami Heat. That's tough. You lose to the Bucks in overtime. That's tough. You go to Atlanta and lose to the Hawks, who are right next to you. You give them your spot in the standings. That was tough. Watching the game last night, we knew that it was game 7 for the Knicks. We knew that they were going to be playing tough. In the beginning, they were shooting the lights out. We were struggling. We looked tired, looked like we were about to lose the second half of a back-to-back. But you know how this story ends every single time. Let's see. No, I want it bigger. Can y'all see this? This is at the end of the game. Let me run it back so you can see these goofies. Look at these orange hats. What is that, yo? What is that? My man JT said it looked like traffic cones exiting the arena. They gave them bright orange construction worker hats to wear next winter to the games. That's lame as hell. If the Nets ever gave out a knit cap, it would be black. Probably have a dope logo on it, the Nets logo on it, and it'd be something stylish that you could wear. Those orange caps literally are like dunce caps. Are you dumb? You're going to wear that? Okay, continue. Good night. Another loss. You actually pulled up to Madison Square Garden thinking the Knicks were going to beat the Nets. Season over. Maybe next year. Again, back-to-back years getting swept. There they go. There they go. Hold up. Let me give gang some love. The Brooklyn Brigade. Yeah. Takeover. All you hear in there is MVP. MVP. Brooklyn. Let's go Nets. Let's go Nets.
How they were able to change the dynamic of what they were doing on the boards.
MVP chants in the Garden. They had a lot to say when Steph got some fourth quarter chants in Barclays Center. They had a lot to say. Oh, never would happen in the Garden. Never would happen in MSG. Gotta love it. And they're going to tell you, oh, 10th seed, you're in the play-in. You're not in. You're out. You're eliminated. Stephen Bondi said, reminder, the Brooklyn Nets had James Harden in their win now window, and they traded him for a player that's not going to play the whole year. Stephen Bondi, chill with that weak shit. You don't want me to start on the Julius Randle saga. The Knicks got fooled by Julius Randle coming out of the pandemic season, the 2021 season. They say Julius is a gym rat. We can tell because he only balled in empty gyms with no fans. And they gave him the bag. Idiots. This guy gave him the thumbs down. This guy literally told their fans, shut the F up. You know what KD and Kyrie do? They give us props. They speak on us. They mention us. KD last night says, yeah, the tide is turning. Seems like there's more and more Nets fans. Kyrie is literally one of us. Kyrie is from Jersey, grew up rooting for the New Jersey Nets. We've been through this a bunch. Kyrie wanted to come home and bring a championship to the Nets. He knows there's Nets fans. He grew up around them. And these Knicks fans, they got nowhere to go. They got nowhere to hide, nowhere to live. The rent is expensive around here, but it damn sure is free. The Knicks lose again to your Brooklyn Nets, 110-98. KD has a triple-double, and he, turned it on late. The Nets toyed with them. I hope you bet that late. I was live on Twitch telling people, hey, you might as well bet it. I didn't put any more money in. I'd already lost enough money, but some people were sitting there hitting that, hey, Nets about to come back. Nets about to come back. Of course they're about to come back. The Knicks always collapse on cue. Predictable. They always find a way to fail. And their fans find a way to make excuses every single time. Who you mad at? Us or your owner? Who you mad at? Nets fans that actually rep their team and their team wins and consistently goes to the playoffs? Your team had a fluke year, became a 4 seed, fell all the way down to 12. They've been holding at 12 all year. That's it, folks. We are playoffs in Brooklyn. Go back and check the last 10 years, and that's what I'm talking about, holding the Dolan family and the New York Knicks accountable. You can't just roll any team out there. Because people are going to say, I'm tired of this. I am switching up. Give me that Nets cap. Those little kids last night that KD saw, and he's like, take them Knicks jerseys off. That's the last night they'll ever be Knicks fans. They woke up this morning and they said, Dad, I need that number 7 Brooklyn across the chest jersey. I'm a Nets fan now. All these young kids, y'all don't realize that's how we build. This is how the fan base builds. All these young kids, they're impressionable. And these young kids have seen the Nets beat the Knicks 7 times in a row in the last 2-3 years. There's nothing a Knicks fan can say to me. There's nothing a Knicks fan can tell me. Our world, Nets world. Who else I want to give props to for last night? Patty Mills. Patty was pumped. Look at Patty looking like Krillin. Patty looked like he watched DBZ. He was looking at KD like Krillin looking at Goku. Like, yeah, you see me, big bro? I'm ready. I did it. I'm ready to rock. How good was it to see Patty? Patty's another one y'all got to put some respect on his name. Because I've seen a lot of Patty slander. And even I said he's cooked, but that's not slander. That's me saying this man played for Australia in the Tokyo Olympics, then came into Brooklyn expecting to be a bench player, had to start a ton of games, got overworked, played the most minutes he's played in any season, and that was in March. He passed that. I don't know what happened. Maybe he got some good sleep, some good rest. Patty was on last night, hit shots for us down the stretch. This was me live watching the first half. Like, bro, I was ready. You know, the first time that the Nets played in the Garden this season and Cam Thomas hit that shot, I went on WFAN and I flamed them. I fried them. It was too easy. It was way too easy. But I was ready that night to take the L and have WFAN callers call in and brag about how, oh, you got KD, Kyrie, still can't beat the Knicks. It didn't happen, yo. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a long time of Knicks fans looking like I look in this picture. They can't live here. There's nothing they can do about it. Once again, our world, Nets world. And shout out to Nets Daily. This was that ether right here. This was so tough. Next, right after the game ends, 10-12. Nets Daily says, Knicks next big date, ? May 17th, the NBA draft lottery. From bing bong to ping pong. I thought that was cold-blooded. I thought that shit was cold. Nets Daily in one tweet ended the bing bong era. These guys literally came out in the beginning of the season talking about some, hey, KD, aren't you? Shut up, yo. Shut up now, forever. You beat the Celtics in double overtime, game 1 of the season, and you called out the Nets. The Celtics are in, the Nets are in, and you're all the way out thinking about the draft and who you can trade Julius Randle to, because Julius Randle does not want to be here, quit on the team, shut it down the rest of the season, came out and talked to the media and said, oh, yeah, people are saying things in the crowd. You know, I've got a 5-year-old son that loves basketball. Bro, put your son in a suite. He shouldn't be in the crowd in earshot of grown men that are going to say terrible things about his daddy because his daddy ain't playing. Well, playing, but ain't playing like the most improved player that they gave a contract to. All right, y'all. We're getting there. We're getting there. And I appreciate y'all keeping the chat rocking. I'm not paying attention to the chat, but I'll get in there. Y'all are solid with the chat. The chat been going. Big love. Big love. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to get to y'all in a second. I'm just going through my notes of things that I wanted to hit in this episode. So, yeah, once again, props to Nets Daily and the crew over there. All love. It's kumbaya. We all come together. And in coming together tomorrow, I already said I'm going to be out there. Kyrie Irving t-shirt giveaway. First 10,000 fans. Nets, I'm telling y'all in advance, I'm about to steal like 4 of these joints. Just let me have my way. I'm about to steal at least 4 of them. I'm going to just stash them. I'm going to keep coming around, show my media credentials, and ask if I can get another one. Tomorrow night, Friday, April 8th, 7:30 p.m., the Brooklyn Nets will face the team that they most likely will face in the play-in, the Cleveland Cavaliers. We need to knock them down on Friday, send a message to the Cavaliers, and let them know that when they come here, Wednesday is not going to be easy. It's not going to be sweet. And I think there's some type of synergy in there. Universe never unconnects, right? The Cleveland Cavaliers have 2 former Nets. Jared Allen has been hurt. I don't know if he has come back yet, but Karras has played. And I think there's some weird, basketball gods energy there where it's like when you think about last year and us having to trade Karras, us having to trade Jared Allen away, how much that hurt as Nets fans. And then you think about them returning. Yeah, Karras played last night. He had 11 points. Jared Allen is still out, so most likely he'll be out for that playing game. But what I'm saying is I think that there is some weird energy, universe never unconnects, basketball gods, whatever you want to call it. The fact that the Nets went through all of this in this season and then lost James Harden in a trade, and we traded away Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, we can't get them back. But here they are, and their team is what stands in the way of the Nets going into the playoffs as the 7th seed. I think it was written that way long before we ever knew. I'm looking forward to it. I'll see y'all at the game tomorrow. Let's look at the Eastern Conference standings. In the East, I believe the Miami Heat are going to lock up that 1 seed. They are 2 games ahead. There's 2 games left. They should be fine. The Boston Celtics, I think, are going to also hold there at the 2 seed, which I'm hoping. Because I'm not going to hold you. I do not want to face the Bucks. Not in the 2-7 round. I do not want to face the Bucks and potentially have them send us home back-to-back years. It's not that I'm shook of the Bucks. I think we can beat the Bucks, but I just wouldn't want that to be our first round matchup. I feel like these guys still have a ways to go. They have to gel. We shall see. I expect Boston to win out and stay at the 2 seed. I expect the Bucks to win out. The Philadelphia 76ers tonight play the Toronto Raptors. I think they could lose that game. The Raptors are playing well, and they'll be without one of their best defenders in Matisse Thybulle. Joel Embiid is looking like an MVP. Harden is looking like washed Harden. No surprise there. Tyrese Maxey they rely on, but we'll see what happens. Now, the Bulls have lost 3 in a row. If you look over to the right, you can see L3. They're still not going to drop. They're 2 games ahead of the Cavs. There's 2 games left. They're not going to drop lower than the Cavs. The Cavs have lost 2 in a row, and I think the Cavs are going to end the season losing 4 in a row. They face the Brooklyn Nets Friday, then they face the Milwaukee Bucks Sunday. Our Brooklyn Nets holding at 8th have to control our destiny here. Win Friday, win Sunday, at home. Beat the Cavs, beat the Pacers, and you're the 7th seed hosting the play-in game on Wednesday. The Atlanta Hawks. I thought they were about to lose last night to the damn Wizards. I was watching that game, keep an eye on that game. Thought they were going to mess that up. The Hawks face the Heat tomorrow. They could very well lose to the Heat. And then they face the Rockets on Sunday. So I'm expecting them to lose to the Rockets or lose to the Heat, beat the Rockets, and we have to win the next 2 games to stay where we are. Don't worry about the Charlotte Hornets. They're out of it. It is what it is. And now let's hit the chat. No voicemails. I'll check again. I don't want any. Don't send them now. Not sure where my phone is. Got to wrap this up soon anyway. Don't need voicemails now. Let me make sure nobody sent them in. Good. No voicemails, no guests. Just had some things I wanted to get off my chest. Bars. To the chat we go. Send any thoughts, questions as we wrap the show. Anything I maybe missed, didn't hit on, anything that you want to get my take on, my thoughts on. You know, if it's player related, if it's Steve Nash. No, I did not kill Steve Nash today. I just try not to do that because it's his second year. It's his full second year. There's times where I'm proud of Steve Nash. Like last night when RJ Barrett threw the flipper out and pushed Patty back and Patty didn't get the call and Steve was literally yelling at the ref like, are you serious? Like, what are you watching? I'm like, good, coach. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be getting at these refs so our players don't have to do it so that they can focus on the game. But then there's other times where you see the rotations. You see James Johnson on the floor with Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond. It's like, what are we doing? Or it's times where KD is sitting down and we're getting ran off the floor. And it's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you are the coach. Call timeout, affect the game, make a change that can help us. But I'm trying not to kill Nash, yo. It is what it is. He's figuring it out. KD and Kyrie said they don't need a coach, so they got to pick it up, and we'll be fine. Let's see. What are they talking about in this chat? Chatting. All right, we'll start with Rick. Rick says, how we doing, Keith, my dog? I'm great, man. I'm a little tired, but it's not anything that anyone should feel sorry for me about. I'm working. I am grinding. I am doing my radio gig. I'm doing social media stuff. I'm doing the Nets coverage. I'm doing the Yankees coverage. It's opening day. Tomorrow is Yankees opening day. I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in, talking to you guys right now on Talkin Nets. This community is built. It's still holding strong, and I cannot wait to improve this brand, this podcast, this channel over the course of the offseason and bring you guys better content and a better show when we start next season. Let's see. Jethawk says, LOL, my bro cousin is a crazy Celtics fan. She doesn't want to see us in the playoffs if we make it. They're shook. They don't want that. They don't want that. And at first I thought maybe we don't want that because of how Kyrie plays in Boston and how their fans are in Boston. But no, that's what you want, man. They're without Robert Williams right now. And there's history there between us and the Celtics. We knocked them out of the playoffs last year. They had a good run this year. Ime Udoka leaving us to go over there. But I think if we get into a 7-game series with them, we could beat them. Salute Nets talk. KD, go. He got the NBA in a chokehold. Nets in 5. I'm with it. Everyone is low-key scared of us. Everyone knows we're a fake 8 seed. If none of this shit happened, we'd be in the top 3 spot. Facts. Like, KD had this team number 1. KD had this team before he got hurt. KD had this team at the top. Then we lost like 11 games in a row. Y'all know what happened. Which team do you want to face in the first round? The Celtics. I'm hoping they hold. The Bucks are right there. I'm hoping the Celtics hold. Let's see. Keith, I hope I don't annoy you when I ask you about Talkin Nets pod. I really just love this pod. Yo, Sade, I wanted to tell you that because I was talking to my wife about that. I was like, it's not just you. Like, people ask me, yo, when's the next pod? When we get in a pod? When are you going to speak on this? And I'm just like, damn, like, I'm in Tampa. I'm in the city. I'm going to different events. I'm in meetings. I'm on the radio. And Talkin Nets now is not like, I don't get paid to do this, so I can't prioritize it. You feel me? Like, imagine doing something during your work hours that you're not supposed to be doing. Like, that's technically like what Talkin Nets is. It's like something that I took from my old job and I kept going for the Nets fans, for the Nets world, because I love the Nets community that we have, especially when they say there's no Nets fans. And I'm like, why are all of these people in the Talkin Nets chat? Why are all of these people following Talkin Nets? I keep it alive and keep it going. I'm kind of limping, kind of carrying it along right now by myself, but it's better to do that than to just not have it at all. So Sade, I appreciate you. Like I told my wife, I was like, I appreciate her because she's always checking for me. She's always checking for Talkin Nets. And I apologize if I ever come off annoyed because I'm not annoyed. I'm not annoyed with y'all ever. I'm here for y'all. What I'm annoyed with is the fact that I'm one man and I'm expected to do a ton of things. And I want to do those things, but something always has to give. There's only 24 hours in a day. I do got to sleep 7 hours a day. Let's see what else we got. Hope Johnson don't get minutes. How has nobody on this team addressed the insane amount of wide open threes given up? That was bogus last night. Alec Burks was going off. McBride hit a 3. RJ hit a 3. Obi hit a 3. And it was like, damn, play defense. Like, wake up. Did you see when Coach Nash gave his players a speech after the game? No, but like good. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I don't rip Nash. I don't kill Nash. We don't see everything. We don't know everything. I hope Philly and Milwaukee face each other and go at it. That'd be cool. Keith, why does the local media hate on the Nets so much? Bro, think about it. I said the Nets are the guy she told you not to worry about. You know that analogy. You know that meme, right? Imagine for years you're married. And even though your wife upsets you, even though your wife lets you down, pisses you off, you're loyal to her, she's loyal to you. But then 9 years ago, she meets this new guy, and this new guy comes along, and it's like, oh, don't worry about him. He's down the street, across the East River, not worried about him at all. Tells you don't worry about him. But then year after year, this dude getting his money up, this dude hitting the gym, this dude eating right. Next thing you know, this dude got a Benz. And all of a sudden, it's like, damn, this dude you told me not to worry about, it's looking pretty good. And then your wife leaves you for him. And that's how they feel about the city, the fans, the Nets coming in. And in 10 years, all it took was a decade. We have a better team, a better organization, some of the best players in the world, and more fans showing out. I literally had a tweet this week because somebody was trying to tell me Barclays Center is not a main stage. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all on? You say the same things for years and you don't refresh your information. How many nationally televised games did we have this year in Brooklyn? Too many to count. Probably close to 20. That's a main stage. That game last night was nationally televised, not because of the Knicks, because of the Nets. They put the Nets on for the world to see. That's why it's Nets World. I have watched. I've been in the arena since the first year. I have watched them improve our building. I've watched the fan base change. I've watched the games go from Nets fans not even kind of being able to quiet visiting fans in our arena to now Nets fans keeping it up with the Brooklyn chants, the Let's Go Nets chants, the MVP chants. And then when it gets to the end of the game, you hear the Nets fans willing the Nets to victory. It's been built, and they can't stand it. Yo, what up, Brandon? You think the small lineup they closed with last night could hold up against other playoff teams? No. It's about matchups. And that's one thing I did want to say, and I'll say that before we get to an hour and I close. It did kind of come off kind of strange that, like, Kyrie was talking about banners and the potential of this team. And, I understand it's excitement, it's energy on the second half of a back-to-back pulling off a win, but it's the Knicks. They're trash. Them boys are ass. They're primed to fuck it up. They're primed to collapse. They're primed to give it up. You can't be too impressed with that win, right? I'm impressed with the comeback. But you should have never got down that much to a team like that. So when, you talk about the lineups and the matchups, it's the Knicks, bro. They're so ass. Wish Kess could take JJ's spot over in the playoffs. That's a good thing to talk about. Word on the street is Kessler Edwards. They're gonna figure out his contract situation. Just Googling his name, the first thing that comes up is Kessler Edwards playoffs. I would bet that the Nets do what they got to do to get Kessler Edwards in there. You need him. You saw how he locked down RJ Barrett, right? They want to talk about Ben Simmons' defense. I'm good with Kessler, Donovan, Edwards, like Jay from BK be saying. All right, a couple more questions before we wrap up here. If the Bucks is 2 spot, do we face them? Yeah. So we need things to hold. They're a half game back. Let me see. I put the standings up. They are a half game back from the Celtics right now. And let's see real quick. I think I checked their schedules earlier. I think the Celtics have winnable games. And, today, the Celtics play the Bucks. That's a huge game. So the Bucks could overtake the Celtics. We could be facing the Bucks in that 2-7 matchup. The Celtics also face the Grizzlies. So now that I'm looking at this, Celtics are going to drop out. Bucks are going to be able to overtake them. We might be dancing with the Bucks, folks. Not what I wanted, but so be it. Throw the ball up. We can figure it out. It's them damn refs we got to worry about. It's the refs we got to worry about, how they officiate the game. But yeah, now seeing that, the Celtics have to face the Bucks and the Grizzlies. They could lose both of those games, and then that half game is gone, and then the Bucks move into second place, and they'll be awaiting us, assuming we win the playing game and represent the 7th seed in the East. All right, let's see. Yeah, P.S. Savage says Celtics play the Bucks tonight. Let's see. My friends in Miami want Nets in the first round. They are confident in Heat, but also think it's Nets. So, I mean, I just don't expect us to lose in the play-in. I think we're going to play one extra game in that play-in. I don't think there's a way that we end up facing the Heat. All right, let's see. I hope the Knicks fan base mostly disappears. Maybe then they'll change. I don't know. There's a lot of goofies, man. There's a lot of delusional Knicks fans. Like, I even had some old guys trying to call me up last night to tell me about, well, the Garden used to be. We don't care. We don't care, bro. We're talking about right now. We're talking about present day. We're talking about what you just watched happen. Like, stop telling me about, like, Larry Johnson and Patrick Ewing and John Starks. That shit is dead. We face the Celtics if we started today, right? Yeah, if the season ended today, but it don't end today. Bucks will beat the Celtics, in my humble opinion. Joanne says, refs don't like the Nets. Tell me about it. Philly is right there too, but looking at the standings again, I'll put it up one more time. Philly is they are right there, but they gotta beat the Raptors tonight. I think they could lose to the Raptors, depending on how that one rolls. And that 4-5 matchup could be what they see in the playoffs first round. So they're going to be playing. This is a playoff game for them tonight. It's a playoff game for them tonight. Good basketball on the night and good baseball. First baseball games just started, which reminds me, I've got to go. It's opening day in Major League. Last question. Let's see. Who do you want us to face in the first round? Miami, Boston, Philly, or Milwaukee? I want it to be Boston, but if it's Milwaukee, so be it. So be it. I'm ready for war. That's all we've got, folks. Once again, you know I appreciate y'all. Talkin Nets. I think somebody said, where is it? I'm going to put that on the screen. Talkin Nets, strong into next season. Shout out to my boy Greg. Yes, I'm finishing out this season on my own. I got it. I built this thing. I'm going to see it through. And then in the off season, I want to actually be sponsored by a company, a brand, and bring in a small team that I can teach and I can show the way so that, like, I can be more so just the host and bring in top guests, like players, like people in the industry. And I'd like us to have a set, couches, chairs. It won't be this Zoom type of, me staring into the camera. It'll be more of a Talkin Nets round table, a Talkin Nets digital show for YouTube. We built the YouTube up. It's monetized now. And I'm going to figure that out during the course of the off season. So appreciate y'all for rocking with me. You guys helped me keep this alive. We have 1.2 subscribers on YouTube, man. I remember when it was 0. And you guys keep the chat going. We have 40, 50 people in this chat today. We're holding strong with the conversation from before I went live and after I, went through everything. There's still people in here. So we'll get there. All right. Time to close. Write a review. If you've got an Apple account, write in a review and I will post it. And I'm trying to see real quick right now if we got any new ones. I saw Julia left one last time. Appreciate it. Solid. Yeah, we do have a new one. Here we go. Let me pull this. And I'll put it on the screen. We're just freshly over an hour, but I started a couple minutes late, so it's all good. Appreciate the reviews. Let's see what this one says. I just took a screenshot. I'm gonna just throw it up there, and y'all are gonna read it as I read it. It's 5 stars, so it's not a hater. But haters are welcome too. Whatever. Spooky Pistachio writes 5 stars. My go-to Nets podcast. Keith has great energy, and this podcast truly feels like it's made for Nets fans by Nets fans. Love the community he builds by highlighting voicemails, live chat comments, welcoming fans and other pod hosts as guests, and discussions on social media. I'm always looking forward to new episodes. Also appreciating how Keith discusses ways he wants to build, improve, and grow the pod. P.S. I do miss the Jay-Z intro, outro, Brooklyn We Go Hard music. Appreciate you, but 2 things with that. I never actually spoke on that really. One, as this podcast grows and gets bigger, that music is licensed. That's Jay-Z's song. Can't use it. And also, now that the podcast has become monetized on YouTube, YouTube flags every episode that has that as not able to be monetized because that's Jay-Z's song. There's a copyright claim on it. And I don't know. I felt like we needed a brand refresh. We got the new logo. We did some stuff, and it was only right that we have a new song. That song is still also a just like test song, a filler song. I don't know how to even phrase it. Like, that's not the final song. When I get Talkin Nets to the point that I want to get it to for the start of next season, there will be like an actual Talkin Nets theme song. Maybe I'll rap that shit. Maybe I'll write some lyrics and I'll spit over a beat, and that'll be the actual theme song. But that's just a holder theme song for right now. All right. That's all we got. Appreciate y'all. Next episode will probably be Monday. After these next two games, Friday, Sunday. So yeah, we'll plan on the next episode being Monday. Thanks for the reviews. I saw someone say, how do you write a review? If you have Apple, go to your phone in Apple. When you're in the podcast, right? I'm about to show you. Okay. Talkin Nets podcast in Apple. Boom. You go to Talkin Nets podcast, click on it. When you click on it and you get to the main page of Talkin Nets, go down to the bottom right here where it says reviews. 4.7. That was my Uber rating as well. That was my Uber Lyft driver rating as well. 4.7 out of 5 stars. 114 ratings. You can tap to rate and hit 4 stars. And then right here where it says write a review in purple, click on that and you can write a review. There you go. All right. Once again, appreciate y'all, man. Heads up. Wear your Nets gear. Tell your neighbor, your friend, your coworker that's a Knicks fan, your season's over. That's 7 in a row. We own you. Shut your mouth. The Nets are in the play-in and going to the playoffs. We are on our way to hosting a play-in game and a first-round playoff series in Brooklyn. Bless it. That's what we do. And you can call a voicemail to be on the next episode. 201-870-0461. I know I need to be on like a prompt to say, like, after the next 2 games, how are y'all feeling about the play-in tournament? How are you feeling about our chances? Like, call in early. I will try and do something Sunday night to be like, hey, call in with voicemail so Monday we can hear from y'all. And that's all we've got. Oh, the We Support Kyrie shirts are out there. A lot of y'all bought them from what I've heard. Appreciate that. Netsworld.org. Appreciate y'all. Get a We Support Kyrie shirt. Wear it proudly. When others choose to hate, we got Kyrie's back. That's all I've got. Our world, Nets world. Let's go Nets. Let's go Nets. Let's go Nets. Brooklyn.